Welcome to the Strategic Oracle, the transmission space where timing meets soul and wealth begins with the rhythm. Let's begin. Hey there, I want to talk more about that February 20th date, that Saturn and Neptune meeting. So I brought it up in one of my forecast calls that I had in early December. And Jane, this is for you. You had asked me to talk more about what strategically you can do and how you can plan for things and what does it mean practically. And so I wanted to meet that because I actually, that was a really good idea, or else I would be doing this, right? I want to talk about why I'm calling this year white lightning and not fire. I want to talk about what it truly means to have Saturn and Neptune meet. And I also want to talk about the difference between Capricorn and Aries, because this is a fine tuning. This is not a threading a needle, but it's understanding things at a nuanced place. So that's what I want to do today. I want to do both. I want to say, remind everybody again what that broad paintbrush looks like so that we reorient ourselves, so that here we are standing in 2026 and now we're in the energies. It's not like we're looking at them or thinking about them or anticipating them. They're here now. And as we've moved, we've taken a lot of steps, we've taken a lot of actions, we've done a lot of things. This is where that free will, that choice that we make matters, because we're in whatever position we're in right now. And here we are standing in it, and now we can look at the stars and we have a different vantage point. We have a different feeling because we're standing in the energies. We are exuding that power of whatever the position that we've taken. And so with that, let me paint the broad paintbrush first, and then I'm going to go through those practical steps through the intuitive success signatures, because that makes the most sense to me to do it that way. If you want to look at what this appears to be in your world, go ahead and go to my blog, because I've written articles about this. They've been out for almost a year, and you can look at your own star chart and you can look to see what houses they fit with you, and then you can look to see what actions you can take. So let's look at Saturn first. Saturn is that elder. I've talked about him being that hall monitor. He's the tough luck guy. He's the traffic cop. And why is he like that? He is like that because he wants to make sure that you are prioritizing yourself first. And a lot of people miss that about Saturn. A lot of people talk about him being malefic. They talk about him being mean, but he's a tough love guy. So I can see it. He's grinding on you. He exhausts you sometimes when you're always choosing the wrong thing. And here's the unfortunate part. No matter how old you are right now, the time between 1989 and just right now, right? So the last 37 years, we have been taught that structure, that showing up and commanding out in the world, that putting your position and the trappings that you gain with that position, about putting your company, the hierarchy, the institution, all of those things before you individually was the right way to go. And that hasn't always been right. It's sometimes been right. Sometimes you've been in the flow because you were in the right place at the right time, doing that right job, and it fits you so beautifully. But the thing with Saturn, especially with Capricorn, this is when Neptune and Saturn met last time, was in Capricorn. That was in 1989. They met at 17 degrees, which was an 8, by the way, which was for infinity, which was for really good things to happen. And yet we stay too long at the party sometimes. No, I'm going to say it. We often stay too long at the party. I've been saying this for a long time, but I was reminded again over the holidays that I often talk about, why can't we have an automatic edit? When we set something in place, why can't we put a timeline on it and say, we're going to come back and revisit this, and we're going to see if it still fits? Because guess what? We would have grown, we would have changed. There would have been transformation in some ways, so it won't fit entirely. And we've done this, especially from that big, huge governmental perspective. When we look at those large, whether it's laws or cultural norms or societal expectations, like familiar conditioning, those things are huge. They take a while to move through. We've stayed too long at the party. And that was never more evident than when Pluto went into Capricorn in 2008 and stayed there until 2023, 2024. So Pluto went in and said, we're destroying all this, guys, because we've stayed too long at the party. So it felt like winter time. It felt like everything was dying. It felt like everything was collapsing. It felt like nothing was right. I know I'm talking about Saturn. I haven't forgot where I am. But Saturn and Capricorn have a great affinity with each other. They belong together. They hang out with each other. They literally get the best buds, about them being like on the playground when they're little, but then they're also best friends with their teenagers. And then they're also their best man for each other's weddings. And then they're at their sons' weddings too. That's what this planet and that sign do together. They are so best friends. There's almost no daylight between them. But yet there is, because Saturn also has another role in the world that Capricorn doesn't. And Saturn will help you bring your future towards you, which Capricorn doesn't at all. Capricorn sits in the past and just relishes in it and says, this was so delicious. I'm hanging on, even if it's by a thread. I know this is the right thing because this is what I've been doing for so long. Let me keep doing it. And Saturn has a few moments when he says, yeah, but you know what? That isn't best for you. It's best for the company, it's best for the organization, it's best for the past, but it really isn't best for you. And that's when he brings you to a point where you feel completely out of sync. And unfortunately, Saturn makes you have an existential crisis. So here he is. He's been dissolved to the point of almost extinction when he's in Pisces, which he's been for the last 3 years. But he did dance for a few months last summer in Aries. So he got bold again. He was igniting things and then withered back for that last bastion before he comes again to that Aries point, which is what we're talking about. He hits it a few moments before Neptune comes together with him. So let's just let Saturn sit on that park bench for a few moments. There he is, the traffic cop. Think of him, literally has traffic cones, and he's got like one of those little, like parking garage things where you can't get through the gate. That's what he has with them. He can't wait to use it. He loves using it. That's where he is. He's just sitting to the side right now. Because now we've got Neptune. Dude, we've got Neptune. Neptune's so awesome. Yeah, I do that on purpose when I talk about Neptune. Neptune is your best friend when you're being naughty. Seriously, he's the one when you're binging on Netflix, when you're eating way too much, when you've overshopped, you've overindulged, when you have been like at the party and you're still partying. I don't know if anybody's seen or read, like you've read The Odyssey probably a million years ago, and you've maybe seen Percy Jackson, and I'm sure there's a lot of other movies that do this, when it's like you take a lotus flower and you're all of a sudden like off in someplace for 20 or 30 years and you kind of forget where you are because you're just in the moment having the best time ever, where there's nothing for you to do. There's no chores. There's no trying to better yourself. There's no self-improvement. There's nothing but sheer indulgence. That's Neptune. Neptune puts on those big fat rose-colored glasses and like, oh my God, I'm so in love with myself right now. I'm so in love with you. I'm so in love with the moment. I'm so in love with this drink. I am so in love with, I just went shopping and oh my God, this is the cutest outfit ever. And these shoes are the best thing ever. And so that's Neptune. We need Neptune in our lives. God, we so need Neptune. Neptune's delicious. Neptune is where you have that creative ecstasy when you're working on something and you just get lost in it. Neptune is just too much. You feel guilty and you feel shameful. It feels heavy. It gets to be way too watery. When you wake up, which is what's happening right now, when you wake up, you're like, why didn't I get this done? Why didn't I finish my degree? Why didn't I finish that project? Why didn't I complete and have that conversation with that person when I was given the moment to? Why didn't I show up for that interview? Oh, for the love of God, why didn't I get back and really say yes to that opportunity that happened when I was just enthralled with my own self too much and I kind of whiffed it? That's what happens when Neptune wakes up. So I'm going to sit Neptune on the right-hand side over there. He's like, dude, everything's great. With Neptune, everything's always massively okay. Like I said, we really need that. But then let's get Aries to come in here. So I talked to you about the fact that the last time these two planets met, they were in Capricorn, and I talked about Capricorn. But let's talk about, it's another cardinal sign. These two signs create new things. Capricorn created a new way to think about structure and systems and hierarchies and institutions. Pluto came along in the meantime and destroyed all that thing, the illusion, if you will, when we set those things up, because we were putting the structure at the forefront and putting that posturing and the position and a authoritative stance and money being too expensive and us giving ourselves over. That had too much importance. So now we've realized that's not the right thing to do, but it's been replaced with nothing. So all of a sudden, here comes Aries. Aries is the super action hero, right? If anybody has seen a Marvel movie, pick your favorite action figure. Like literally, you can't go wrong because this is individualistic, right? So do you love Spidey or do you love Batman? Do you love Wonder Woman? Do you love Captain America? I got to tell you, Iron Man, he's all that. So pick your favorite action figure and don that suit because here comes Aries, and that's exactly who Aries is. Aries is afraid of nothing. Aries is impatient as anything. And Aries will, I don't want to say Aries will do the right thing because Aries doesn't really care about what the right thing is. Aries cares about himself. Aries is the one that says to you, you have been giving yourself over. You've given your power over. You have minced words. You haven't been speaking up for yourself. You have not been actually taking those action steps that you know are the right things to do. Get up off the couch, don your favorite action suit, and let's go. That's Aries. Aries is like this. Let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go. That's where these two planets are coming together. And yes, Aries isn't a fire sign. That's why everybody's saying that this is super fiery. I'm not saying that they're wrong about this configuration being fiery. What I'm saying is they've missed the point of where we are in this. This isn't something new. We've had this energy with us since this time last year. So since spring last year, we've had this, and I'll say March for those of you in the Southern Hemisphere, we've had this energy of that fiery ignition point. Mercury was all in fire signs last year. We got this fiery initiation, that spark, that let's go. You know, I'm literally looking at like being a luge and like at the starting gate, and we already got the let's go sign. The flag has already been waved. And we've already been on the luge, and then we deluded ourselves a little bit because the planets moved back into Pisces and we're kind of hanging around and like, oh, we can chill again. So we took a good luge ride. But we were at the starting gate and we already took off. So that's what this isn't. That's why this timing of this is a little bit off, but it's not totally off because people could have hidden and deluded themselves and not really taken advantage of that window that opened last year. They could have bypassed it. This, they can't bypass. So it is going to be awfully uncomfortable for a big, huge swath. Remember that big paintbrush, right? With that one color paint? It's going to be awfully uncomfortable for an awful lot of people because this is the wake-up call and it's going to be here. With Neptune, it's here for another 14 years. Saturn is here for another 3 years. These next 3 years for the people that haven't taken a single step to do the right thing for themselves, it's going to be really uncomfortable. But if you're listening to this podcast, you're not one of those people. I'm speaking to those of you who are at the forefront, who have boldly taken those steps, who've asked those uncomfortable questions. The flag has already been waved. You've already been on the luge. So now what you get to do in the luge, you get to open your eyes again and go, oh yeah, okay, which direction are we going? How do I want to lean into this curve? How do I want to either speed up or slow down? How do I want to take control of the luge once again? That's where you are. So that's really important to note because as you are watching other people or big swaths of things going, oh yeah, we're finally recognizing that that's already broken. We're finally admitting that that's collapsed. We're finally at the point where we need to do something because we can no longer delude ourselves. Crap. Doesn't mean people aren't still going to try to do it. It just means that their escapist tendencies are going to have to take a whole nother level of it. I'm going to have to double and triple and quadruple down on it. Remember, everything's a choice. So as you're looking at things and then it's going to be evident that things are deteriorating or people are dissolving or structures that have already collapsed, people have woken up to the fact that they've collapsed. Yeah, it's uncomfortable. It's not new, though. It's not new. We've been here, and we've been here for quite some time. So let's not pretend that it's new. Let's not get all like aghast at all this stuff. We've known this to be here. Let's take that leadership role, put on our action figure suit and stand and take those bold moves that we know that are ours anyway, and let's do them. And then, oh, by the way, other people will be able to see it because they'll be too busy being in the collapse. So let's go. Let's go with this. This is going to be awesome sauce. So this is where we want to stop pretending that structure and intuition are separate. We want to stop pretending that we're only masculine, that it's only what we do externally, that it's only that linear functioning, that it's only that left brain, it's only that. We want to stop pretending that that's true. And we want to start recognizing and actually employing on a daily basis that the feminine matters, that our instincts and our wisdom and that cyclic replenishment and that gathering of momentum and the rhythm and the tempo and the cadence matters. That internally who we are and our energetic alignment is also as important as the strategy that we employ. Then the other thing is you want to simplify, right? So you want to, like, you're on a luge now, right? So on a luge, you're not carrying a house with you. You haven't packed 67 bags. You are traveling pretty quickly, right? Or you can think of, who flies? I don't know. There's a lot of the superhero that flies, right? They fly. They're not flying with a Winnebago, right? Like, so this is where you want to be like, who am I? This is why I've been ad nauseum about hey, who are you truly? Who are you at midnight? What do you want to let go of? I've been really leaning into what do you want to let go of? What is too heavy for you right now? Let it dissolve. Because that's really important, because you don't want to be weighed down by this stuff. You want to be lifted up. So really, those are the two things. Those are really the two things that you want to focus on. So let's dive into your signatures and see what action steps you can take in really practical ways. If you haven't taken the quiz yet, I don't know who you are, but if you haven't taken the quiz yet, go ahead to yoursignaturemap.com, answer the 12 questions. Okay, so for you, wise strategist, Saturn and Neptune are asking you to lighten up just a scotch, not losing your precision because you're so good at it. So don't give that up, because your precision is awesome sauce. That's part of your superhero pack. So make sure you carry that tool with you, but just trust your instincts. Trust the systems that you've put into place, and don't overthink them, because that overthinking is what is hindering you. So the way you prepare for this is you want to strengthen your foundation. Don't redesign everything. This for you is like, I know a few wise strategists out there that follow me and they're like, my systems have all collapsed, but you haven't. You are still the superhero. So for you to remember who you are and stand in that in full power and look at the systems around you and go, damn, I set up so many things right. It's just the world has said that they're not employed in the right way. So it's not for you to break down or you to break down your systems. It's the fact that application of it didn't work. So there's the nuance here. So you already know what you need. You don't need to do or know more or learn more or reconfigure more, anything like that. You have it all inside you. That is your mantra. Intuitive visionary. Here's the deal. This configuration for you amplifies your ideation. So you will get more ideas, and they're going to seem bigger. They're going to feel like they have more magnitude. They're going to seduce you by saying that this is the massive impact that you want to make. However, they shouldn't be new. If they're new, then they're not yours. There might be some illumination that you have in there. There might be a little like of the kaleidoscope, just turning your head just a little bit and seeing it for a different application or a different way to go about it. But this is about you having grounding. You cannot implement the pace of the ideas that are coming to you. So your lens is, your filter is, does this apply to what I'm already doing? How does this ground me? How does this make this container better? How does it have more meaning for people? How does the form come together better? So this is where your embodiment of your ideas, the power of the change that you've already elucidated, these are your questions for you. Now, for you, collaborative explorer, this is where you are testing the priorities that you have. So some people say boundaries. That's okay. If you use the word boundaries, that's okay. I think, I like to think more of definition and more of the fence line that you have, or more of your trajectory, but whatever. I don't want to mince words here. For you to be in that stance of, I am the superpower here. guess what? The world is moving to you. So think about in the Marvel movies, think about like if it's Aquaman or someone like that, right? Think of who's always on the periphery and always making sure that everything comes together. Now all of a sudden you have your own movie and you're the star of it. That's what this energy is doing for you. So this is great for redefining, for optimizing, for recalibrating, because things will shift around you, but it's not for you to shift. It's for those things to shift. So for you to employ your position and command and say, yes, here I am, and other people can move around you. That is new for you. So for you, ruling warrior, this is giving you a little bit of, and I don't want to say pause because I don't want you to run, like climb through the microphone here, but it is giving you some discernment before you take action. So that's not going to be easy for you because Action Jackson is it's kind of your moniker. It's what you do. You are the one that takes those huge, big steps, but you want to be intentional about them. You want to make sure that there isn't a big, huge leap that you're taking that you're like, oh, guess what? I'm supposed to close my company and open up a brand new one, or I'm supposed to open up the division I've never thought of before, or I'm supposed to do these 3 strategic partnerships right now. I'm not saying no to any one of those things. I'm saying this is a threshold time for you. So this is where you say, okay, those are 5 big, really huge things. Which one feels the best for you? Because not all 5 are for you. You're the one, you want to take those moments of restraint and thought and cascade this out to your destination. Start from where you want to be and then work your way backward. That's the best way I can say it. I should have said that first. Okay, creative superstar. This is like a really super magical time for you. You're going to be like, yay, you're going to be dancing with all the things. You're going to feel really in the mode. You're going to feel super in the flow. And yet there's something about that disciplinary action that has you uncomfortable. So you want to make sure your nervous system is being able to catch up. Make sure your mind and your heart and your will are aligned. Make sure that you are taking those moments of space and solitude and working with your own cycles. You are still just as unique as you were before this energy came in. And yet the energy feels so delicious because people are finally like getting you now and you feel like you're in your mojo. Be in your mojo, but allow yourself to take those moments. Before, what would happen is the world would overwhelm you and you are forced to take those moments. So you take charge of your own cycle and you take those moments as you present to yourself, not as they're presented to you. Okay, so for you, loving alchemist, this is a deeply inner recalibration for you. So it's going to feel emotional and relational. It's going to feel like people are letting the integration happen. However, they're still falling apart a little bit. You're watching the collapse. You're going to want to control this for other people, and it's not yours to do. So you're going to have to let go of that. You can be the beacon. You are shining in that. Allow your power to be exuded out in the world, but not for you to go rushing off and kind of mincing your power or taking, steps back to help somebody else feel comfortable or basically not being you. You want to be the powerful beacon that you are. And that's going to make people feel uncomfortable as they're already feeling uncomfortable. That's not your responsibility. You can be loving and you can be kind and you can be compassionate, but not for you to alter your state. Let them see what power really looks like. Don't take off your Spidey suit. Keep your Spidey suit on. Okay, so you want to honor yourself. So you're like, I'm honoring my inner power. I'm honoring my inner timing. I'm honoring my magnificence. And I'm allowing people to see how strong that it can be, not to diminish them, but to help light them up. Okay. So Saturn and Neptune, they're not here to confuse you or befuddle you. This actually is a very illuminating time. This is that white lightning moment. It is to clarify and illuminate and give you light that's when it's been dark before. And it's also to be able to clear the channel in front of you. So that's what I'm super excited about. There is some dissolution with the collapse. And this is where there are a lot of things that don't hold. So it does feel sometimes that you can be on quicksand, or it feels sometimes like you don't have footing underneath you. That's when you want to remember You want to remember those things that you've set up for yourself, and you're traveling lightly, and you've already gone through the gate of the luge. You're just on the luge. That's your structure. So you are your own structure is basically what I want to say. So here's the thing. This is the new era. We've been walking around without knowing, like, look, we have hands, and look, this is what's going on. We've been super uncomfortable for a handful of years. This isn't any different than that. It's not any different than that. People are just realizing it right now. So for you to take a step back and remember your energy matters, your power starts with you and aligning your own energy. And then you want to have precise action because you don't want to waste time. You're moving too fast. Things are happening too quickly. You want to make sure that you're not giving over resources or energy or investment that could exhaust you. So discernment, we've been talking about that for years. So this is hopefully, fingers crossed, meeting you about that big star configuration that's happening on February 20th and helping you give your mind some information. We had those 2 steps that we went through, and then we had your signatures that we also went through. So hopefully this gives you some practical things to fit in your back pocket and to have you be riding that luge and to have some fun on that luge. This is a great ride. So thank you for coming on the journey with me. Thank you for trusting me and listening to me, and as always, sharing with friends. So happy soul tidings. You've been listening to the Strategic Oracle, where success isn't scaled from speed, but from soul. If this stirred something real, follow it. Apply for activation, enter the vault, or pause right here. Integration is leadership too. Because the truth is, you were never meant to chase the timing. You are meant to become it.